Please be seated. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite Mr. Chris Tobin, representative of the Darug people, to offer the traditional welcome to country.
Thank you. Budjimullinul, everyone. Good morning and welcome to the lands of the Wallamedigal. I belong to one of the local Aboriginal families of the Darug people, the traditional custodians over this part of the country. I wish to thank the University for their acknowledgement of us and for the invitation to welcome you here this morning. That acknowledgement is important for our people and much appreciated, particularly by our elders. My family, in fact, descend from Yarramundi, a respected elder and cleverman of the Burrabrongal clan during the early years of colonisation. He saw that our survival in this new world could best be secured if we could learn more about it. So he enrolled his daughter, Bullingari, or Maria, into the Native Institute, a school set up in 1815 by Governor Macquarie, offering formal education to Aboriginal children. Maria studied there for several years, and with her newly acquired skills, she was able to lobby and ultimately secure some land for herself and her family out along the Richmond Road. Other families soon joined them and became known as the Blackstown, where the present-day city of Blacktown gets its name from. We are very proud of her, as I'm sure your families are of you here today, and with good reason. Your success is our success. Your advancement is our advancement. Now, that was probably better understood in traditional times when clan groups were smaller and people abided by the strict sharing laws. It meant that the food that you caught and brought back was distributed throughout the rest of the camp. Your skills and good fortune were thus enjoyed by all. Your efforts literally nourished the rest of the community. And you, in turn, were looked after by them. Yes, we can live quite beautifully when we do it right. Our Aboriginal ancestors certainly lived well in many respects, and I use occasions like this to recommend them to yourselves as a model or a benchmark on how good to expect our lives today. You see, when Captain Cook arrived here a little over 200 years ago, he described the people he encountered as one of the happiest people he had ever met. They owned nothing, he wrote, but the tools they carried. They were naked, they made their shelters from the bark of trees without cutting them down, and harvested food from the earth without extensive tilling. There was no slavery, no rich and poor, no armies, no forts, no rents, and no homelessness. People cooperated to collect the resources that were needed, and they were thus shared out according to strict Aboriginal law. Our lands were maintained in their natural state with fire and responsible harvesting. Our rivers and waterways were clean and unpolluted, with people drinking out of them as they have done here for the past 20,000 years. Now, remember, this is not an ideal or a dream. This was normal life until not so very long ago. And there's no reason why we should expect less for ourselves and our children than what our ancestors enjoyed. So I would say, expect great things from your life. And do great things. There's still much magic in the world. And if you're not shy with sharing your gifts and skills with the rest of us, I'm sure together we can put together a future and a country that our children will be proud of and is worthy of them. We can all do our bit. I'll do mine now by winding up and letting you graduate. Just want to say congratulations to all of us and all the best in our collective futures. Yano, welcome to country.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to introduce the Chancellor of Macquarie University, the Honourable Michael Egan.
Thank you, Chris Tobin, for your welcome to country. Well, graduands, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, first I want to thank all of you for coming. A graduation ceremony is an important celebration of achievement. The achievements of our graduands, and I might say also of the university. So it's very good that you're here, and I'm very grateful that you are. I also want to especially thank those of you who have brought children with you. It's good for them that they're here, because their memories of today and of the importance of today one day might be the thing that inspires them to emulate the successes of today's graduands. And their presence is also good for us, because every celebration is enhanced by the presence of children. And I hear some tiny tots in the background there, crying, making a noise, as children are meant to do. And I just want to let you know that they're most welcome. Don't worry if they do make a noise. I mean, unless children have changed since I was one, you can't expect them to stay still or quiet for the duration of a graduation ceremony, and you can't expect babies not to cry. We don't want you to take them outside. We want you to stay where you are, so, sir, you can relax and sit down. In fact, we like babies that cry because from experience we know the louder they cry during a ceremony, the more likely it is that they're back within 25 years to take out a PhD. So please, sir, relax. Now, the most important thing today is that our graduands have a great day. And I really do hope that today will be a very happy and a very memorable occasion for all of you. You deserve to take pride, great pride, in your graduation. Completing a degree is never easy. You need an intelligent and inquiring mind. You need determination and perseverance, and you need to make many sacrifices. So welcome and congratulations to each and every one of you. I also want to congratulate all of you who are here today as the guests of our graduands, because if you think about it for a moment, you've all obviously done well too. The very fact that you're here, the fact that you've been invited by one of our graduands to share one of the great days of their lives, is proof positive that you've been very important in their lives and in the successes that we celebrate today. And I don't want you to think either that observing today's graduation is the end of your role. I have another important service for you to perform for our newest graduates, as they will soon become. I want you to make sure that the degrees they receive today are never ever put in a bottom drawer, but are always displayed in a position of prominence. In other words, if our graduands are too self-effacing to proclaim their own success, you make sure that you do it for them. Now, the ceremony that we're about to participate in is one of the world's oldest social rituals. For centuries, graduates have been donning robes just like the ones our graduands are wearing today, and participating in ceremonies just like this one. Indeed, there are some 50 universities in the world which can trace their history back more than 500 years. Macquarie, of course, by comparison, is very young. We celebrated our 50th Jubilee just 2 years ago. We proudly take our name from Australia's greatest colonial governor, Governor Lachlan Macquarie, a man whose greatness and achievements were never acknowledged by his contemporaries, but only by history. Those of us who went to school in New South Wales learned that Macquarie was a great builder, but his greatest legacy had nothing to do with bricks and mortar. It was the ethos he established, much to the annoyance of the British authorities, of an egalitarian society. Because it was Macquarie's insistence that in this fledgling convict colony there be no distinction between the free and the freed that was the foundation of the Australian notion of a fair go for all. And that is the legacy that here at Macquarie we will always aim to maintain and honour. After our first 52 years, we now have more than 170,000 Macquarie graduates living in more than 140 countries. Macquarie is a very modern and outward-looking university. We're now ranked in the top 2% of the world's universities. From our beginnings, we have defied the traditional boundaries of academia. we have pioneered and continue to pioneer learning and teaching approaches that challenge conventions and shift thinking. Our students play a major role in their own learning and are empowered to guide what and how they learn. We're also research pioneers. Our framework for the future, world-leading research with world-changing impact, is brought to life by renowned researchers whose bold and innovative solutions to issues of global significance are of enormous benefit to the world we live in. And by the way, that's not just an idle boast. I wonder how many of you are aware that Wi-Fi, something that most of us use most days, was developed not at Harvard University or Oxford or Cambridge or Stanford, not at the ANU or Sydney or Melbourne University, but was developed by Macquarie University scientists in collaboration with CSIRO scientists. I think that's something that we can be very proud of. We're also very proud of some of our new facilities. On your way here today, you may have seen our Macquarie University Hospital, which is only a few years old. The hospital forms part of a very exciting medical enterprise, which will be Australia's first fully integrated academic health sciences centre under a university's leadership. It's the only hospital in Australia that is owned by a university. And it's an excellent hospital too, I can assure you of that. Personally, I've been a patient there for 3 nights a couple of years ago, and I can assure you that the standard of care and attention is absolutely first class, especially when you're the Chancellor. So I can recommend it to you. Other outstanding new facilities are our library, our Australian Hearing Hub, which is a world-leading institute in hearing and language sciences, a state-of-the-art media centre, a newly launched simulation hub for teaching and research and cutting-edge science laboratories. Now, that's not to say that all of our lecture rooms and laboratories are first class. They're not. In fact, some are downright crappy. But we plan to fix that, and in the very near future, we'll be announcing some very exciting plans for a major physical transformation of our campus. So we're looking forward, and we're on the move. Here at Macquarie, we have a very clear and straightforward mission. And that mission is to transform people's lives and to improve the lives not just of our own students, but also of people all around the globe by the work and achievements of our graduates and by the fruit of our research. We want Macquarie always to be a leader in teaching and learning and a leader in the accumulation of knowledge and understanding. In other words, an ideal community of scholars. And graduands, in just a few minutes, it will be my very great honour to confer your degrees upon you and welcome you as lifelong members of that community of scholars we proudly call Macquarie University. Well, now, graduands and ladies and gentlemen, it's our pleasure at today's ceremony to honour, in accordance with the resolution of the University Council, Mr. Richard Ackland AM for admission to the degree of Doctor of Letters honoris causa of Macquarie Universities. I now invite the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Bruce Doughton, to read the citation. Professor Doughton.
I invite Mr. Richard Ackland AM to please stand for the citation. Chancellor, Richard Allen Ackland AM is an award-winning journalist, lawyer and publisher, a Macquarie University graduate and a long-standing friend and supporter of this university. His career began in the early 1970s as a Fairfax journalist specialising in finance. For the remainder of that decade, he served as the Canberra correspondent for the Australian Financial Review and authored the Clancy column for the former National Times newspaper, covering the infamous Whitlam government dismissal in 1975 and the subsequent turbulence that marked the national politics of that era. In the 1980s, Mr. Ackland moved from the Australian Financial Review to the ABC as the founding presenter of Radio National's Late Night Live, before swapping late evenings for early mornings as the host of the station's breakfast show. Despite his flourishing and busy career, Mr. Ackland found time for study, and in 1986, he graduated from Macquarie Law School with a Bachelor of Legal Studies. He was admitted to the Supreme Court of New South Wales as a solicitor and subsequently founded the publishing company Law Press of Australia. The company has been and remains the publisher of two of the most important legal journals in the country, Justinian and the Gazette of Law and Journalism. From 1998 to 1999, Mr. Ackland wrote and presented the ABC's Media Watch program, along with colleagues Deborah Richards and Anne Connolly. And with them, he was awarded the Gold Walkley Award for their investigation and coverage of the notorious Cash for Comment radio advertising affair. Mr. Ackland remained as a legal columnist for Fairfax Media until June 2014, when he moved to the Saturday paper. A month later, he joined The Guardian as legal editor-at-large. He retains both these positions alongside his publishing roles. In addition to his Gold Walkley, he was presented with the Free Speech Committee of Victoria's Voltaire Award in the year 2000 and the Penn Keneally Award for the promotion of freedom of expression in 2013. In 2016, he was appointed as a member of the Order of Australia for significant service to the print and television media industries, particularly through reporting on legal issues and as a publisher. Chancellor, it is with extraordinary pleasure that I present to you Richard Ackland AM for the award of the degree Doctor of Letters honoris causa.
Mr. Richard Ackland AM, in the name of the Council of Macquarie University and by my authority as Chancellor, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Letters honoris causa. Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite Dr. Ackland to give the occasional address. Please welcome Dr. Ackland.
Chancellor, Professor Doughton, members of the faculty, graduates, friends, families, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the warm welcome, for the conferring of the honorary degree, and for an opportunity to wear such splendid robes and hat. I'd also like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land and celebrate their culture and ongoing contribution to society. Congratulations to all of the new law graduates. This is a wonderful achievement, a culmination of endurance, tenacity, mental acuity, and a mastery of some of the great mysteries of logic. A degree in law is no mean feat. It is not only the command of subjects and topics in which you're interested, but the torture of confronting those in which you have no interest. And then there are the expectations. A law degree is presumed to be a passport to a gilded world. Some might say a gilded cage. Of course, it doesn't have to be a passport to being a lawyer, although there's nothing wrong with that. We can never have too many lawyers, particularly good ones. One of my friends went straight from law school into a big law firm after he graduated and was promptly put on the Kentucky Fried Chicken franchise account. he had to spend his days looking at contracts between franchisees and franchisor. And very soon he was sitting in the stairwell of this mighty office building, crying about what had gone wrong with his life. If you are caught in the Kentucky Fried Chicken trap, you only have to remember that fertile opportunities lie elsewhere. Here's one example in front of you who took his Macquarie Law degree into journalism, and in the process my income was in inverse proportion to the amount of fun I had. Journalism is full of escaped lawyers. The Sydney Morning Herald, The Guardian, The Financial Review, the ABC, News Corp, the Mainstream and the Rivulet. You'll find law graduates among artists, arts administrators, captains and cabin boys of industry, public administration, finance and politics. And I know some of you here today are not law graduates, but the majority are, so bear with me if you may. I wouldn't worry about the oversupply of lawyers in the legal market because there are so many opportunities elsewhere. Yet the law is a great vehicle for individual, social and economic mobility. In my opinion, it should be a great vehicle for social and political change, where lawyers fight for things that are important, for human rights, for ethical values, for openness, for decency, for independence. It puzzles me that lawyers are not on the battlements, more persuasively arguing for a Charter of Rights in Australia. Professor Rosalind Croucher, who taught here and is now the president of the Australian Law Reform Commission, said last week that the efforts to align laws with traditional rights and freedoms was a duty incumbent on all lawyers. There is a higher duty on you, not just to make a lot of money and to make your mother proud, but to work to make our world more fair and true. It's not as though the arguments against a Bill of Rights are all that powerful, so it's odd that we find a weird psychotic reaction in Australia to the notion of human rights. The case against seems to boil down to the assertion that it would transfer power from politicians to unelected judges. And that argument suggests two really strange propositions. That judges don't have a history of deciding things, writing reasons for those decisions, which are published publicly, and having them open to an appeals process. Secondly, that judges should be elected. If we did have an Australian Bill of Rights, some of the great issues that have been beyond the will or the wit of the politicians to resolve would get a decent tickle up in the courts, such as privacy, marriage equality, the detention of refugees, and even the meaning of 18C. As it is, we're left in a peculiar position of being the only significant common law country without a Bill of Rights, while agitating for a seat on the United Nations Human Rights Council. For me, Macquarie Law was a godsend. At the time, no other university in New South Wales was providing an external course for those who were employed full-time. There was a wonderful man called Mr. Dunton in charge of external students. He had a ruddy demeanour and in all weathers would wear a very heavy Harris tweed suit, particularly in midsummer. External students had to get their essays in on deadline, in hard copy format, typed. Mr. Dunton would be standing ready with a date stamp to slap on these priceless pieces of parchment, and it was crucial because marks were deducted for minute degrees of lateness. No email delivery, no online courses existed, no mobile phones, no research by Google. It's a miracle that a notoriously late person like me got any marks at all. But we had some terrific teachers, and I'm talking the early 1980s. Professor Peden, Professor Blackshield, Jack Goldring, Margaret Thornton, Rosalind Croucher, Heather Ruddock, John Bishop, Michael Sisella, and many, many more. It was also an era of critical legal studies, when the application of the law and its remedies had to be examined from the perspective of a starving Irish peasant in the 19th century. The faculty was exciting as the critical legal scholars engaged in pitched ideological battles with the traditional legal scholars. By the time of my admission to the profession, I already had a job as a journalist at the Financial Review newspaper. After the swearing in at the Supreme Court, there is an ancient cup of tea ceremony with the Chief Justice, at that time Sir Lawrence Street. "Of course you'll be coming to the bar, Richard," he said. I told him that I already had a job in newspapers. This was unheard of because at that time, everyone with a law degree became a lawyer. He tried to be sympathetic. "Oh, well," he said, "it can't be helped." One of the really nice things is to be able to retain contact and friendship with people who suffered in the trenches with you. I still see old student colleagues around town who are now in elevated positions: solicitors, judges, barristers, government officials, bank managers, retirees. Through us there runs a golden thread that of all the law graduates in Australia, no one understands better the failure of the legal system to keep pace with the havoc wreaked by the Irish potato famine. We are bound by those years at Macquarie, so I think it is a good idea to stay in touch with your alma mater and to give back as you move forward. I'd like to acknowledge the Chancellor. He and I have a bond of the common experience of the heady days of the Whitlam government. He was a ministerial advisor. I was a reptile in the press gallery, different ends of the same democratic sausage machine. I'd also like to wish you, as freshly minted graduates, all the very, very best, whatever you do.
Well, graduands and ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you'll agree that that was an outstanding occasional address, and I'm very grateful to Dr. Ackland for presenting it and for being such an important part of our ceremony today. Richard is quite right. You don't have to practice the law because you're a law graduate. Most law graduates don't. But nevertheless, your legal training, your academic training as a lawyer, will stand you in good stead in any career you pursue. And so you don't have to be a Horace Rumpole, although it'd be great fun to be a Horace Rumpole. Although I'm not sure this audience knows who Horace Rumpole is. They're a lot younger than us, Richard. And you don't have to be a corporate lawyer in one of those soulless, heartless buildings. You can go off and do all sorts of things. But the law itself can be a very exciting career. And it is true, a lot of people say we're training too many lawyers. I've never believed that. I think people trained in the law are very important for the survival of a civilised democracy. You need people who understand simple concepts like the rule of law and the presumption of innocence for a civilised society to continue to be that. When I was at school, we used to study in primary school a thing called civics. I don't know that that still happens. So there really is a role for lawyers to keep reminding us of the things that are required for our society to be an open, fair, democratic and civilised society. You only have to look at some of the things that are happening around the world, where you have political leaders, in some cases in the position of presidents of their country, who believe in arbitrary rule. You see that happening in the Philippines. You see in the United States candidates for the presidency proposing to do all sorts of arbitrary things which just have no regard for human or civil rights. And we should never think that those sorts of threats to society are something that we're immune from. We always have to make sure that those principles, such as the rule of law, the presumption of innocence and all the others, are uppermost in the minds of our citizens. And that's a responsibility that lawyers in particular must take on. I think you agree Richard deserves another great round of applause for his occasional address. I was interested too when Richard was saying there was no Google, there was no email when he was studying. It reminded me that when I studied at Sydney University in the middle 1960s, the advent of the photocopier had just occurred. And Sydney University had one photocopier, and we thought that was just fantastic. It used to copy in reverse, so it was white on black, and it was $1 a copy. And I think that's probably about $2 or $3 a copy in today's values, but we still thought that was a magnificent technological advance. These days, the problem I have with technology is that I am technology illiterate, but I'm sure it's a great boon to all of our graduates and all of our students. Well, we now come to the part of the ceremony which is the key part of the ceremony and the reason we're here, and that is the conferring of degrees. Now, it's the only part of the ceremony that makes me a little bit nervous, because I was told many years ago by a friend who subsequently became the Chief Justice of New South Wales, Jim Spiegelman, that if ever I conferred a degree on someone who was not entitled to receive it, there was nothing I could do to take it back. So I have to make sure that all of our graduands today are eligible to receive their degrees, that none of them were ever late in submitting an assignment, that none of them ever missed a class, and otherwise they fulfilled all of the requirements. And I'm going to ask the Registrar, Deirdre Anderson, to formally certify the eligibility of our graduands.
Chancellor, I certify that all the candidates being presented here today and those who are absent have satisfied the requirements of Academic Senate for the degrees they are to be awarded. May I ask all candidates for admission to degrees to please stand.
Graduands, in the name of the Council of Macquarie University and by my authority as Chancellor, I admit each of you present and those who are absent to the degrees for which you have qualified. Graduates, congratulations.
Will you please be seated? Chancellor, the graduates at this ceremony are from the Faculty of Arts. Students and staff in this faculty work together within and across disciplinary boundaries to ask questions about socially complex problems. They identify paths of research, analyse and communicate ideas in creative formats, and reflect on the skills and knowledge they will need to understand the world, both past and present. Students are encouraged to use their skills and talent to connect with local and global communities. This faculty includes research and study areas in ancient history, anthropology, English, Indigenous studies, international studies, law, media, music, communication, cultural studies, modern history, politics, international relations, philosophy, sociology, and security studies, including criminology. Chancellor, I now call on Professor Martina Mollering to present the graduates. Professor Mollering.
Chancellor, I present to you the graduates from the Faculty of Arts whom you have admitted to degrees. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Applied Finance with the Bachelor of Laws with Honours, Michael Fitzpatrick. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts with the Bachelor of Laws with First Class Honours, Siobhan Gwendolyn McGarity. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts with the Bachelor of Laws with honours. Robert Graham Hill. Elizabeth King. Shirley Leung. Sarah Jane Lindemann. Alex Martin Maudry. Johanna Emily Celia Miller. Denita Nair. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Media, with the Bachelor of Laws with First Class Honours. Anna Elizabeth Glenn. Eleanor Catherine Sanderson.
Fantastic, well done.
I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Media, with the Bachelor of Laws with honours. Tristan Robert Black. Regina Featherstone. Adam Matthew Johnson. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts Psychology with the Bachelor of Laws with First Class Honours. Thomas Abraham. Isabella Rose Johnston. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts Psychology with the Bachelor of Laws with honours. Natasha Busa. Thomas William Dawson. Gabriela Luis Gauci. Lauren Kaplan. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Commerce with the Bachelor of Laws with First Class Honours. Matthew Thomas Robinson. Dilek Selvi. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Commerce with the Bachelor of Laws with honours. Joseph James Elder. Claire Marie Arthur. Gabby Leora Cohen. Debbie Lai. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Environment with the Bachelor of Laws with Honours, Ellie Elizabeth Chapman. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of International Studies with the Bachelor of Laws with Honours, Nell Cantrell. Elodie N. Dunhill Somerville. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science with the Bachelor of Laws with First Class Honours, Sophie Whitehead. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Laws with First Class Honours, Craig Brickwood. Rebecca Eliza Cunningham. Georgina Dalton. Guy Samuel Lewis. Emily Rachel McCracken. Dilara Rosnikas. Kathleen Faith Sanikoff, who has been awarded the Vice Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Laws with Honours, Thomas Cameron Beverley. Yvette Jones. Michael Anthony Kendall. Catherine Latham. Cameron Allen Smith. Fiona Catherine Smith. Emma Kathleen Stewart. Jack William Turner. present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Applied Finance with the Bachelor of Laws. River Chung. Bilal Muzaffar. Aubrey Wong. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts with the Bachelor of Laws. Rawand Al-Hinti. Jessica Lauren Anderson. Fraser Robert Clyde Brown. Ha Ching Chiang. Isabel Marie Cruz. Claire Dunn. Ching Man Eunice Fang. Elizabeth N. Good. Rebecca Georgina Griffith. Alexandra Lily Harding. Daniel Paul Harwood. Sunita Kalra. Catherine Fong Tai Lam. Ellen Francis Martino. Angela Elizabeth Matry. Imogen Claire Mitchison. Edwin Alexander Lockhart Nelson. Cecilia Pack. Eleanor Chondro. Natalie Allen Wenden. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Media, with the Bachelor of Laws. Fariza Fatima. David Riley Matthews. Sharon Anushka Niles. Rebecca Jane Pratt. Stephanie Spasinowska. Elif Alger. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts Psychology with the Bachelor of Laws. Robert Thomas Beamish. Jeremy Richard Boyd. Ramsha Suleiman. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration with the Bachelor of Laws. Lachlan Armstrong Sue. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Commerce with the Bachelor of Laws. Shiraz Biskovic. Amelia Rachel Bugonovich. Katrina Dade. Gabrielle Hardy. Alison Marie Henry Whisker. Christian William Ibrahim. Sarah Jacob. Jack Peter Mackenzie Johnston. Song Min Kim. William Matthew Lam. John Yung Chen Lau. Simon Lee. Courtney Moore. Niran Dipuni. Lachlan John Prott. John Save Salmon. Omar Samadi. Lauren Torp. Brian Wing Shang Long. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Commerce, Professional Accounting with the Bachelor of Laws. Melissa Toe. Hoi Yu Tse. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of International Studies with the Bachelor of Laws. Nicole May Lynn Stabe. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science with the Bachelor of Laws. Sayada Mariam Hussaini. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Social Science with the Bachelor of Laws. Lucy Dillon. Jack Ragg. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Nicholas Ainsby. Elsie Kathleen Shelley. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Laws. Angeline Achana Antoni. Louise Melissa Barton. Rebecca Nicole Black. Amy Chalker. Dipendra Dittal. Adam Troy Fishbeck. Simon John Fletcher. Sumit Chandra Gimiray. Gabriella Margaret Glenn. Tara Elsie Holland. Andrew Johnson. Natasha Arteris. Tylee N. Lambert. Natalie Marie Matthias.
PhDs.
Alexandra McAlpine Poulos.
Guys.
Regina Mutia. Boris Nikovsky. Emma Claire Pendlebury. Mark Richard Williamson. Ross James Wilson. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Social Science, Rebecca Percival. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Master of Environmental Law, Yvette Eleanor Middleton. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of International Trade and Commerce Law, Ershad Ablad. Nuchaya Chawipat.
Congratulations.
Alet Ngenda Kumana. Faman Sulaimanli. Huang Zhang Tran. Gunika Viantong. Yan Wei Wang. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Laws. Pong Sak Cheu Pong. Yamon Patmokarat. Gan Plun Gang Som. Tanapum Ratatamataiku. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Amar Hadi Al-Khatani for a thesis entitled The Dubai Experience, Evaluating the Effectiveness and Efficiency of International Commercial Arbitration Laws in the Gulf Arab Region. Dr. David Leslie Allen Barker for a thesis entitled A History of Australian Legal Education.
This young man is 82 years of age.
Dr. Holly Astrid Dole McAway for a thesis entitled Just Ask Us, Come and See Us, the participation of Aboriginal children and young people in law and policy development. Dr. Saeed Saifuddin Hussain for a thesis entitled Trade Facilitation through Border Enforcement of Intellectual Property Rights, Issues, Concerns and Possible Remedies. Chancellor, that completes this morning's presentation of the graduates from the Faculty of Arts.
Chancellor, I call on Mrs. Kathleen Faith Tenakoff, who has graduated today with a Bachelor of Laws with honours, to speak on behalf of the graduating group.
Good morning, Chancellor, members of the University, fellow graduates and guests. It's a privilege to be delivering the graduate address to you this morning, and I too acknowledge the traditional owners of this land. I'm sure that I'm among friends here when I say that I'm a lover of books and stories. When I was young, I especially enjoyed the Choose Your Own Adventure series. For anyone who's unfamiliar with the series, you start as normal by reading the book from the beginning, but not far in, you're given a choice of what happens next. A sliding doors moment, if you like. You're faced with these choices throughout the book until that particular adventure comes to an end and you get to start all over again. For me, in coming to study law at Macquarie, I was starting all over again, leaving a previous career to embark on a new adventure. For many and varied reasons, each graduating student here today chose to study law as the first step in their new adventure. And like any good story, the adventure so far has been full of highs and lows, moments of excitement and times of disappointment. On our adventure, we've climbed mountains of case law, exhausted our supplies of sticky notes and highlighters, and overdosed on coffee as we've journeyed at times long into the night. During this phase of the adventure, we've been in training, and I'm sure that all of us are grateful for the lessons we've learned and for the support and advice we've received from family, friends, and teachers, many of whom are here today. Advice from loved ones that study isn't everything and that we should go and have some fun. Advice from Lise Barry to maintain our integrity as we embark on our career. Advice from Frank Carrigan to remember that we're not defined by the organisation that we work for. And of course, advice from Shane Davenport to remember that the mortgagor is the ordinary person and the mortgagee is the evil bank. You don't want to get those two mixed up. Personally, as a recovering perfectionist, I will always treasure the advice of my thesis supervisor, Carolyn Adams, to remember that sometimes almost perfect is good enough. You just got to let it go. Today we celebrate the huge accomplishment of having made it this far, of having persevered, and I hope you feel immensely proud of yourself. Today we also face a sliding doors moment in our choose your own adventure story. And some of us will choose to travel. Some will work in finance, some will become solicitors or barristers, others will go into politics, some will become writers and academics. The choice is ours. But of course, we don't get to choose everything that happens in our story. We don't get to choose all the challenges that we'll face, or how people will treat us, or even our own inadequacies. But we do get to choose how we respond to these, what we focus on, and who we become as a result. So as we embark on the next phase of our journey, I encourage you to remember that sometimes the best adventures occur when we go off the beaten track, when we choose to travel to difficult and uncomfortable places, and when we choose to make the most of every opportunity. Remembering that even our failures, or especially our failures, equip and prepare us for the next phase of our adventure, and they remind us to be gracious when people let us down. So as we embark on the next phase of our journey today, forgive me if I quote David Foster Wallace and say, "I wish you way more than luck." Thank you.
Well, thank you, Kathleen. That was a great address, and it contains some very good advice. I congratulate you not only on your honours degree, but I congratulate you on embarking on a new venture. And what you said is perfectly true. You never quite know where the venture will take you, but the main thing is that you respond to all of the ups and downs positively and confidently, and enjoy the journey. And that's, I think, very important. Don't ever get stuck in a career that you do not like. Always take the chance to get out of it and embark on a new venture. And that way, I think you'll end up finding something that you do like, and if you like it, it's more likely than not that you'll be very successful at it. Well, Kathleen, I'm glad you enjoyed your time here at Macquarie University, and I hope that we see you back here. You can take another degree if you like. We've got the example down there of a gentleman, a professor already, not from this university, I might say, but from the University of Technology, another great institution, and he should be an example to all of you. So, Kathleen, congratulations. Well done.
segui con me, con me. Tu mia luna, tu segui con me. Io sono, tu segui con me, con me, con me, con me. Time to say goodbye. Così che io l'amai. No, this is the love you. Adesso si vivrò con me. Partirò su navi per mari che io lo so. No, this is the love you. It's time to say, time to partirò su navi per mari che io lo so. No, this is the love you. It's time to say goodbye, time to say goodbye. Su navi per mari che io lo so. No, this is the love you.
Well, now, that wasn't too bad, was it? That beautiful voice, ladies and gentlemen, belongs to Angela Brewer. And we're fortunate that we have Angela singing at most of our graduation ceremonies. Sometimes she can't make it. And I have to say you were very lucky that she was able to sing today, because on the occasions when she can't, I do the singing. Now, if you'd like to hear, would you like to hear Angela sing a little bit more? Would you like that? Okay, well, hold your horses. All you have to do is enrol in another degree, and I'll make sure she's singing at your next graduation as well. I think Angela deserves another great round of applause. And so too do our fabulous musicians, Dr. James Forsyth on the organ. There's James over there. And on the Chinese traverse flute, Dr. Chai Chang Ning. And the other people I'd sincerely like to thank today are our volunteer alumni who come along to help out at graduations and make sure that everything goes smoothly. And I'm sure you'd like to thank them as well. And some of them are sitting over there. And over there. And of course, sitting behind me are some of our academics, and they've been very important to you throughout your journey at Macquarie. I'm sure you'd like to join me in thanking them as well. Well, graduands, this ceremony marks the end of one stage in your relationship with Macquarie, but it's certainly not the end of your association with Macquarie University. From today on, for the rest of your lives, you are part of the bigger Macquarie family, which is our alumni and part of the network of 170,000 Macquarie alumni spanning the globe. We'll keep in touch with you through our alumni program, which is focused on lifelong learning, lifelong support, and lifelong connections. Our commitment to you is to help you keep in touch and engaged with Macquarie throughout your life. And graduates, please do make sure that you come back to Macquarie, either to undertake more study, perhaps attend alumni events or use our aquatic and fitness facilities, or even if the mood takes you, just come back and enjoy a picnic down by the lake. Well, now, graduates, the award of a university degree carries many opportunities and privileges. But like all privileges, it also carries responsibilities. Believe it or not, you, each and every one of you, can change the world. And you don't have to be a Nobel Prize winner to do it either. Because almost everything you do, in your homes, in your workplaces, and in your communities matters and can make a huge difference. The consequences of every effort, every action, large or small, can reverberate throughout society, through the decades, indeed the centuries. Even something as simple as a kind word or a kind gesture can often be the spark that ignites a great life or a great career or a great achievement. So as Chancellor of Macquarie University, I charge you to use what you have learned, not only for your own benefit, but also for the betterment of the community. I charge you to use the skills and knowledge you have acquired with rigour and integrity, and to commit yourselves to a program of lifelong learning and inquiry. I charge you to recognise the worth and dignity of all people, particularly those who have not had the opportunities that you have enjoyed. I charge you to set high goals and to continue the hard work that has brought you so far. I charge you, wherever you go, go with all your heart. And in all you do, I charge you to uphold the good name of Macquarie University. Graduates, I hope also that you'll always remember the people who helped you along the way, many of whom, of course, are here with you today. So to acknowledge their contribution and thank them for it, I'm now going to ask you to do a couple of things. Graduates, would you now please stand? I want you to place your degrees on the seats behind you so that your hands are free, and I want you to turn around to face your families and your friends. And now I invite you to give them a mighty round of applause. Well, graduates, you can turn around now, but don't sit down because we'll be moving out in a moment, but I would advise you to pick up your degrees just in case you leave them behind. Well, ladies and gentlemen, shortly I will lead the official party out through the centre aisle, and it is my great honour to invite you all to join our newest graduates and their families and friends to join us for refreshments overlooking the lake. And I would invite you all to please now stand. Remain standing until the last of the graduates have processed out, and then I'd like you to actually join the academic procession through the centre aisle and down to the lake. Well now, graduates, I wish you all the very best for the future, and in the words of the old Irish blessing, may the road rise up to meet you, may the wind always be at your back, may the sun shine warm upon your face, and rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Graduates, good luck.